Alright guys, before we get into the series, I wanna bring some changes once again to the video style quality. So as context, I have observed that it is very awkward to watch my shorts videos since they can't fit into YouTube shorts duration, which is 3 minutes, and I find that annoying. So with that in mind, I'm gonna fix this issue by removing the plan for today clip. To make the video shorter, instead I will state the plan while I show the work on the screen, which is I believe would be satisfying to watch. And for the accomplishments, I will still do them because it is a documentation of the game process, plus it will be a marker for such achievements later. And yeah, and now I'm done mentioning the changes of my video style. I believe that to some of you, I'm still a nobody, so let me introduce myself. So for those who don't know, I'm right now a solo developer who's working on my game project, which is titled 2 Years of Change, which you are seeing in this gameplay on the screen. And the game is about battling an existential crisis, which is a mental health issue where your whole existence is questioned because of a traumatic experience. So yeah, this game would be an experience about that, battling that experience, and also to try to express how the main character survived such problem. So some of you guys would apply those methods and also help you with such problem. And yeah, that's about it for the game and myself. And without further ado, let us get on with it. Here's day 64. Alright, day 64 making a game. So let us start the video as usual by recapping yesterday's accomplishments. So here's a clip of Michael talking about it. So guys, let me start off by stating first what we talked about in yesterday's plans. So as said, we're continuing the creation of our very first game character. And today, what we did is yesterday we did is applying the details to the body of the character. Here's the list: the neck bump, the toes, the knees, and the arms and the leg area. And for the results, as you can see, the neck bump is slightly realistic once again, because when I designed that, my reference in my mind is once again on the realistic version 1. But just as before, I think it blends well with the design. And for now for the toes, I think it represents the realistic toes once again, because I also reference it to a realistic toe, but it's not too realistic in a sense. But I think it looks good too, and it blends well in the design. And for the knees, I am having a hard time figuring out its structure, that why it looks like it was weird form, you know. But I will fix it in the future. And yeah, that's all I got for the knee design, and it's kind of a meh design, but it is alright. And lastly, for the leg muscle areas, I think you can also guess that I also reference it into another leg realistic muscles once again, but it just captures the shape, not really the realistic details. But I think I can live with that. And yeah, without furthermore yapping, and with that said, let's get back into you, Michael. So that yesterday's accomplishments is recap. Let us continue the project. As you can see on the screen, today I plan to continue designing our very first game character, which is an anime schoolgirl style. And today I added this new sculpts for the game character, and here it is. As you can see on the time lapse, I am doing the skirt sculpt first, then followed by the leggings sculpt, and lastly the uniform of our anime schoolgirl game character. And again, for those who are new to the channel, we are on the stage of game development where we are trying to create our very first game character. Since we are done with the basic mechanics of the game in the Unreal Engine, you can watch the video on my other videos that I work on that. And another thing that I want to bring up is that we are on the very first stage of creating our very first game character, which is sculpting, as you can see on the screen. And yeah guys, that's what I did for today, and with that said, see you guys tomorrow. Alright, day 65 of making a game. So let us start with the video as usual by recapping yesterday's accomplishments. So here's a clip of Michael talking about it. So guys, let's get on with it. So First off, I have to bring up what we just did for yesterday. So as said, we sculpted these designs for our very first game character. So here's the list of what we sculpted for our anime schoolgirl character. The skirt, the leggings, and lastly the top uniform for that specific school. And so here are the results. So as we can see, all of the design is taking its shape, to say the least. The skirt shows it is a skirt design by seeing the folds, and for the leggings, it's kind of hard to see. It's because all mesh is the same color as the body mesh. I'm gonna fix that later, but that's what we got for now. And for the uniform, it shows it's an anime style because of what cloth she is wearing with those designs, with like the collar and everything. And yeah, that is all what we did yesterday. And yeah, with that said, nothing else left to say. Let's get back into you, Michael. So with the yesterday's accomplished fully recap, let us get on with today's goal. But first, for those who are new to the channel, hello there, I'm Michael. I'm currently a solo developer who is working on a game. What game, you might ask? Well, it is titled 2 Years of Change. And the game is about the story where the main character goes through a mental health crisis, more specifically, surviving an existential crisis, and try to solve the path forward as the story goes on for the viewers, for the players. And right now, we are on the stage of creating our very first game character because all of the basic mechanics for the game is done in Unreal Engine 5, and as posted on my earlier videos, you can check those videos in my channel so you can see for yourself. And to be more specific, we are on the stage of creating our very first game character, which is mentioned frequently, and that is we are on the sculpting stage, basically making the shape of our game character, which is an anime girl, schoolgirl style, and as you can see in the time lapse. And now let us get back on track. So here's what I did for today. So as you can see by now on the time lapse, what I did for today is the following. Continuing where we left off yesterday's top uniform of the schoolgirl's character. Added a single chunk of hair in the hair mesh. Added details to the lips as well as the neck. And lastly, I created a new sculpt for the shoes of our very first game character. And yeah, guys, that is all what I did for today. And with that said, I will see you guys tomorrow. Alright, basic tips of making a game. So guys, you already know the drill. Let us start with the video by recapping yesterday's accomplishments. So here's a clip of Michael talking about it. So guys, for context, let me bring up what we did yesterday. So here's what I did yesterday. So I decided to sculpt the top uniform of our anime schoolgirl character, as well as add a single chunk of hair in the hair mesh with a sculpted hair mesh, and as well as added details to the lips as well as the neck on the meshes. And lastly, I created a new sculpt for the shoes of our very first game character. So here are the results. As you can see below, for the top uniform of our schoolgirl uniform, I think in my eyes, it is safe to assume that it kinda already looks like an anime schoolgirl uniform, if you know what I'm saying. And for the single chunk over here I just wanna say that because I felt like the hair mesh is lacking some volume on the hair strands for some reason, and I add that extra detail, not too shabby if I say so myself. And now for the details, I added for the details on the lips and the necks. I think it is also a good design because I reference it in realistic volumes as well. I think it is good stuff. And lastly, for the sculpts of the shoes, I think we can all agree that it looks fairly simple, and yeah, I agree, but it is because I find that I can't find a good reference, so I was lacking that. And yeah, that is all the review for yesterday's accomplishments. And with that, and nothing else left to say, let's get back into you, Michael. So the yesterday's accomplishments or review is being done. Let us continue with the video, but before that, I believed I was new to some of you guys. So once again, let me introduce myself once more. I am Michael, who is currently working solo as a game developer in this project of mine, which is making a game. And for some of you might say, what game, you might ask? Well, good question. Well, the game is it's all about a guy who suffers from existential crisis, and as the story progresses, the guy tries to heal himself through experiences of accidental events. But let us get back on track. So basically what I did for today is, as you probably be aware by now on what you see on the time lapse, it is I sculpted glasses for the game where the character, as well as add details to the hands, and also sculpted another hairstyle, which is a short hairstyle version of the anime schoolgirl character, because I changed my mind and basically tried to create all the schoolgirls variations of our game characters, and I wasn't also expecting this change, but here we are on it. And yeah, that is all I did for today, and with that, see you guys tomorrow. Alright, day 67 of making a game. So guys, you already know the drill. Let us start the video by reviewing yesterday's accomplishments. So here's a clip of Michael talking about it. So guys, first off, let me start by saying the things we added yesterday. So as we said yesterday, first I sculpted the glasses for the character, as well as second is added details to the hands, and lastly I also sculpted another hairstyle, which is a short hairstyle version of the anime schoolgirl character, because I changed my mind. It basically tried to create all the schoolgirl variations for our game characters, and I wasn't also expecting this change, but here we are on it. But let us get on with the results, shall we? So now that you see the pictures, let us start with the review. So first off, the glasses, I think we can assume it's not fully detailed yet, just yet, because it looks like some sort of blindfold glasses at the moment, and that is what we got for now. But I still think it's beautiful to start to say that this. Moving on, and for the added details to the hand, I think we can barely see it started to look like a hand now, maybe even a realistic one, because of the knuckles and the bumps of the fingers, you know. But I think it is cool that just last week I am completely new to sculpting in Blender, you know, which I find amazing. And for the another hairstyle that I designed, sculpted, which is short hair version of our game character, as we can see, it is still unfinished because I ran out of time sculpting yesterday. But from looking at it on unfinished product, I think we can all agree that the mesh is starting to take shape, which is great for me. And yeah, that is all the review of yesterday's accomplishments, and nothing left else to say. And with that, let's get back into Michael. And with the yesterday's accomplishment reviewed, and I believe that for some of you, I'm still new for some of you. So let me introduce myself once more. I am Michael, who is currently working on as a solo developer, who is doing content creation by posting the game progress and of how it's currently standing. And now that I introduced myself, let me finally state what I did for today. So as you probably seen by now in the time lapse, basically what I did for today is just finish a short hairstyle version of our game character. And the reason it took so long is because it is a complex design, and with the tentacle thingies, our hair strands, and the bangs as well. And yeah, that is all I did for today. And just one thing, but it is progress because it is a complex design from me. And yeah guys, that is all what I did for today, and with that, see you guys tomorrow. Alright, day 68 of making a game. So guys, as usual, we have to start the video by reviewing yesterday's accomplishments, and without further ado, here's a clip of Michael talking about it. So guys, let's start the review, but let me say first what we have done yesterday. Basically, what I did for yesterday was just finish the short hairstyle version, and yeah, this is just one thing. So I explained why it's just one thing. So let me bring out why it's just one. Basically, this one is a complex design from me, and I say this because the sculpt consists of multiple hanging hair strands design, and as well as the bangs design. And now let us review. But first, let me show you the results picture, so we can visually see what I'm talking about. So as you can see, it is a complex design, and I showed it in two different angles of the sculpt to show the complex design. So let us start the review. So for the hanging hair strands, I think I have a feeling that the design is doesn't look like the hair at the moment, and it's still fairly kind of simple because of its large blob strand of hair, you know. But that's what we got for now. And for the bangs of short hairstyle of our schoolgirl character, I think it also looks off, but I think we can see the design taking its shape as hair bangs. But now that I reviewed yesterday's accomplishment, and without further ado, let's get back into my code. And now that yesterday's accomplishments is reviewed, and before I forgot to mention again, I believe for some of you guys you guys are still might be unfamiliar with my channel, so let me introduce myself once more. So hello there, I'm Michael, who is currently working solo on this project game of mine as a game developer. And for some of you might say, what game is all about? Well, good question. The game is about a story where you will be playing as the main character that has experienced an existential crisis, and as the game story progresses, the main character tries to heal himself from it using the experiences he acquires in the game. And yeah, pretty cool concept if I say so myself. But let us get back on track with today's work. So, as you probably seen in the time lapse shown in the screen, what I basically did for today is that I continued the hairstyle of our game character on yesterday's work, and I finally finished the design of today, as well as started another scope of hairstyle where it is a lump of hair, where basically the design shows the hair is accumulated in one spot of the hair, specifically on the back side of the head of our game character. And yeah guys, that is all what I did for today, and with that said, I will see you guys tomorrow. Alright, day 69 of making a game. Alright guys, we have reached the funny number, but again, to start the video, let us first review yesterday's accomplishments, and without further ado, here's a clip of Michael talking about it. So guys, let's do this, but first let me state first what I have done yesterday. So basically, what I did yesterday is that I continued the hairstyle of our game character on the yesterday's work, and finally finished designing it yesterday. And also, I started another scope of hairstyle where it is a lump of hair, with basically the design shows the hair is accumulated in one spot of the head, specifically on the back side of the game character. And now that I stated that, what I did yesterday, let me finally review them. I bring pictures of them here so we can see the details of what I'm talking about. So here they are, and now let us review them. First off, for the finished short hairstyle of our game character, I think we can all agree that the design is kind of in the middle, because while it's not fully detailed, it captures the shape we are looking for. And that is a short anime girl hairstyle. And if we look at its bangs, I think I'm proud of it myself, since I took a lot of time sculpting that, and as shown in yesterday's video. And for the unfinished lump hair sculpt, I think we can all agree that if the sculpt isn't fully finished yet, it already fits the character. Like, to my eyes, I see her is beautiful to see, in my eyes. And yeah, I'm proud about it myself, and that I have reviewed them and have nothing else left to say, let's get back into my code. So with the yesterday's accomplishment review, let us finally start the video. But first, I believe I'm still new to some of you guys, so let me have a short introduction real quick. So guys, I'm Michael, currently working on this project of mine as a game developer, trying to create a game from scratch. And for the game I'm making is an experience of surviving an existential crisis, which is a mental health issue where your whole life existence is on the line and kind of play. And now that I introduce myself, let me get back on track. So what I did for today, as you probably see in the time lapse shown in the screen, is basically I continued the scope of the lump hairstyle of the character, and the reason was I can't grasp the lump hair version, so I decided to make it a ponytail hairstyle instead. So yeah, pretty unexpected change on my part, and I do own you guys for changing the hairstyle. So yeah, that's all I did for today guys, and with that, see you guys tomorrow. Alright, day 70 of making a game. Last day of the week, huh? Alright guys, first things off, let us start the video by reviewing yesterday's accomplishments. So here's a clip of Michael talking about it. Well guys, what I did for yesterday is basically I continued to sculpt the hairstyle of the character, and change the goal, and the reason was that I can't grasp the lump hair version, so I decided to make it a ponytail hairstyle instead. So yeah, pretty unexpected change on my part, and I also Also do own you guys for changing the hairstyle as a reminder. And so let us finally review it. So here's the picture of the ponytail design I just worked on yesterday. And as we can see, it is a beautiful design because I believe it or not, I searched references on the internet since I'm not a girl myself, and yeah, the ponytail hairstyle is really interesting to sculpt, not gonna lie, and yeah, pretty much it almost finished, just a couple tweaks and left and they are finished with the design. But I wanna add something something you see on those strands of hair on the end of the ponytail. Well, as we can see, it is a little bit weird design, but still, that's what we got for now. And now that I reviewed the design, and without anything else to say, let us get back into you, Michael. So with the yesterday's accomplishment reviewed, let us start the day. But first, let me have a short introduction about myself for those who don't know me just yet. Hello there, my name is Michael. I'm currently working on the solo in this game, a project of mine, and I'm as a game developer. And as you can see in the screen, it is my work and this day, which is day 70, and some of you might say, what kind of game it might be? Well, good question. Basically, the game is all about you as a player will navigate in the eyes of someone who experiences existential crisis and tries to solve it himself. It as the story progresses. Pretty cool concept, isn't it? Well, I thought so. But let us get back on track, and I'm in a position where most of my basic mechanics is already done in Unreal Engine 5, and basically now I'm trying to polish the game by first creating the character meshes. And today what I did is finish sculpting the ponytail hairstyle of our game character, anime schoolgirl character. Another thing that I added for today is sculpted another variation of the eyes to make it later just swapping eyes like Naruto stuff. And lastly, I started to work on the next stage of the character creation, but more on that later. And yeah, that's basically what I did for today. And with that said, see you guys in the special message of the week. So guys, I just wanna say this lesson I learned from doing content creation. If you find yourself in a situation where you have to keep grinding, well, let me tell you that your decision on that moment will change the trajectory of your life. I promise you that. How do I know? Well, it is because I have been in a situation like that too. Like doing content creation, it always puts me in a constant motion because every day I have to show my work to you guys as content for the game development. For me as a game developer. And let me repeat it once more. Whatever your problem might be, please bear it. I promise you it gets better with time. Maybe even to the point where it just comes as natural for you, you know? And another thing is that I want to reframe how you approach problems. See it in this way. The problem might be hard to do, sure, but you have to know that it is a test for someone who wins or not. And that test is where you have to prove yourself, not just to anyone, but yourself. Because I will tell you, the hardest person to trust is our life, in our life is us ourselves. Because you have experienced so much bad things to the point that it makes us don't trust ourselves anymore, and that is why I believe the hardest person to trust is us ourselves. So again, whether you are put in a position where you have to face hard problems, just bear it, because if you don't, it only get worse from that. And you have my word on that. And I also want to thank you guys for watching my videos. Like, I really appreciate it, and it is true that it takes effort to do this stuff, but it is also only the solution to our problems. I will tell you that. So guys, take my words on that. I promise you that you will never regret it. And yeah, once again, thank you for watching my videos. I really appreciate it.